Wow. It only took us like how many days? 4 to 5 days until we see the first core throw of the entire tournament, guys.
In an EU versus EU match?
Yeah, of course, it has to be Europe because our region seems to be, known for this. But what a finish. Both teams played a really close and really clutch game here. Team Dignitas, they were leading for the majority or for the major duration of this match. But in the end, all it took was one pick and mYinsanity turned it around.
Yeah, that's that last catch going for Cocoon as well, which we haven't really seen any of. It was all about the Locust Swarm so far, every time there was an Anubarak. So I really love that choice, and to me, this is what really made this so much stronger for them as well, that composition, and maybe even give them the win here.
I mean, they were playing with fire by letting Kael'thas through. There were several moments to where it looked like Dignitas should have been going. Yes, the pun was intentional. But the fact that they were able to execute, I mean, this is the thing where mYinsanity, things look dire many times.
Yeah.
Including at the end. It almost looked like they were going for a base race. I heard Dreadstar calling it out. And then they backed, and then everything went crazy from there. I mean, the back and forth between these teams, this is why it's so exciting.
Yeah, and J.O., you know what? I can't get enough of that voice of yours. So why did you take us to replay number 1?
Me neither.
Well, we're going to talk about the one hero where a lot of this revolved around. We'll go ahead and pause it right now because I'm going to go ahead and highlight right there. That is Kael'thas. When I said playing with fire, you're going to see that right now because this is where things really start to go. Now, Kael'thas gets caught out, and you can see he's stuck in the middle. There's really nowhere to go. Lunar Flare is going to land. He does get the Phoenix out. That's important because now watch. We have Darkmox sitting here. He's actually going to take quite a few of these shots because just out of range is the rest of his team. The collapse onto Falstad goes ahead and takes care of him. So this is a moment where Dignitas, things started to look pretty bad for them, but they turn that around with that Falstad pick there. They continue the assault, out come the Skeletal Mages. That helps get the Dwarf Toss over, helps secure a lot of this. The Bone Prison, as Gilly talked about, no cleanse, means there was a nice follow-up there to help secure the kill onto Greymane. And that's where early on, Dignitas, things looked bad for them early in the fight, and they were able to turn it around. And the back and forth all game long seemed to revolve heavily around Kael'thas.
But Tyranda's solo support for the build was very aggressive, which I was really surprised by too. Like things like Lunar Blaze, Shooting Star, not going for that Empower Sentinel build. It was very interesting to see, and that barely worked, just barely.
Yeah, Tyrande, of course, is a hero that has so many different talent builds, right? We see an auto attack build every once in a while. We see an owl build, of course, probably the most popular choice these days. And then, of course, as you mentioned, Gilly, here, we see a very own variety, of course, for mYinsanity here. But coming into this game number 2, Dignitas must feel very shaken after this very dramatic loss here.
I'm very worried about them, actually. They lost earlier against mYinsanity previously already, and now they lose map number 1 in this fashion. Good luck recovering and staying in it mentally. It's going to take everything they've got here. And if somehow they let this affect them too much as well, I could totally see them, fall apart here a little bit in the draft already and then in the game. They need to stay focused and on point.
And I'm pretty sure I know exactly what you're going to show us now in that next highlight, J-House, so take it away, my man.
Things are going to get explosive real quick. Look at this. Kael'thas gets deleted, but one thing I want to highlight, let's just pause it real quick. Do you guys see what's just under there? That is a cocooned Rhaegar, and that's the biggest thing. No cleanse, and there was no Ancestral up at the time, but nothing to get him out of there. And so isolating Rhaegar, taking down Kael'thas was huge, and that's what allowed them to help defend. The rest of the team will go ahead and run it forward. The rest of the team went ahead and fell back. As Dread pointed out, look at the death timer. Falstad, 10 seconds left, but more importantly, Mighty Gust is back up by the time he comes back. That does help isolate one. Remember, this got down to about 30 to 40%. The rest of the team starts to rotate down, and this is where all chaos came out. Falstad rejoins the fray. He continues to put the pressure. No mana onto Bakery. That makes it very difficult for him to stay in. You can see the boss under assault, and that was the main focus. That's why they dropped back 50% at this point, but the Mighty Gust came out, helped isolate it, and all that's left is Murden, and guys, that is not enough. But you can see the collapse right onto him. That got down to about 35% before that went down. Imagine if Mighty Gust wasn't there. Imagine if Kael'thas was there. There were so many variables to where that could have easily been in favor of Dignitas.
This reminds me of Gale Force Esports versus PB8. So easy at the end of a game like this to just look back and be like, okay, well, if you just had done this differently, in this case, if Kael'thas doesn't get caught, if they just kind of stay behind the boss, they don't need to rush in like crazy. they just win this game, I'm pretty sure, with Kel'Thas there.
That's a great point that KT got knocked out there. Also, they were doing a good job of spreading out so that they didn't get hit too many members get hit specifically by the Mighty Gust. But the Gust hit Sonya. And then that 60% slow that comes after that, it took her so long to trudge back to the core. And they were able to
If only she had leap.
If only.
Then they would have lost 10 minutes before.
All right, for now though, guys, it is of course not over yet. The European grudge match is still live and kicking, and the second map is going to be Infernal Shrines. So we go back to the most popular map in the competitive scene, of course, and this sort of comforts Dignitas, I think, on the one hand. However, go back to the previous series, Jayha, what happened there?
Something tells me we won't be seeing Cho'Gall again, guys. I think they figured out, hey, you know, we're going to go down in a blaze of glory. It's going to be that of Cho'Gall. I think they're going to have maybe something different up their sleeve, is mYinsanity. Is it going to be enough? Dignitas, is this the moment where they need to finally pull out the strategies that Bakery just here a little while ago said, hey, we've got some stuff up our sleeve. Let's see if it's an opportunity. Their back is against the wall. Do they play it safe, or do they go out in similar fashion like mYinsanity's like, hey, we're down, but already starting?
I guess we'll see if that's the case. The way he talked about it made it seem like certain situations had to be met
That's true.
before they were going to pull that out. So we'll see if that's the case. But Infernal Shrines, since it is a battleground that is so often chosen, that could be one of those conditions.
Well, Kel'Thas first ban. Now, this looks a little bit more normal. Kel'Thas first ban, Illidan second ban. But that leaves Zul on the table. Zul, a powerhouse on this map.
And now it is red alert for Team Dignitas. One more loss, and it could mean the end of their tournament participation here during the Heroes of the Storm Summer Championship. And as you mentioned, Zul, a very solid first pick. So far, so good. And mYinsanity, they are playing with our minds here. Once again, the Rhaegar first pick. I think they're doing this on purpose, guys.
There might be something, but Diablo is one of their safest picks on this map alone. I think that will alone put the favor in their, or the advantage in their favor. I already love the first two pickups by mYinsanity.
When those shrines come up, you put Diablo on there, and he's going to have a field day, just clean up the skeletons, and that puts so much pressure on the opponent as well. It's like, hey, we're there, we're working on it. You're going to have to come back and make sure you don't let us get away with getting all these skeletons and the Punisher.
Okay, so the problem I have here is that Diablo has that aura around him at level 4. The other thing is mYinsanity is known to run Lunara, especially on this map. When you have a melee-heavy comp like a Sonya, like a Zul, and they're going to have potentially another warrior joining them, Lunara is going to feast on that front line, and that is something to look out for mYinsanity.
Potentially, if they're going to go for a Lunara, they could ban Tassadar, maybe make them feel like, okay, we have to go for Uther. You love getting Lunara versus Uther. That is the best case scenario. He just can't deal with her area and her poison damage.
And I cannot stress enough how much I love the mind games coming in from mYinsanity, because if you remember a series back against Tempest, they picked Rhaegar on this map as a first pick and picked Cho'Gall later on. Now, of course, don't get me wrong, Cho'Gall is not really a given fact here, but it toys a little bit with their opponents.
Yeah, they might try to force the ban out.
Yeah, you're totally right, Gilly.
mYinsanity have yet to lose the draft against Dignitas. Like the last one, that was a weird draft, but that wasn't a lost draft, I feel like.
Talking about wanting to get control of the shrine, Gilly, you talked before about, hey, it's all good if you have somebody like Sylvanas if you don't get the shrine. Sonya excels, Zul excels, Sylvanas only contributes. That's a strong part to it. Is it going to be enough for team fights?
Oh, they were going even further down that road, Gilly.
Are they going to bait it out?
I don't know. They might just...
Are they going to take the bait?
It's Lunara. They're going to ban Lunara. And I wonder, it either looks like with Rhaegar, okay, is it going to be Cho'Gall or is it going to be Lunara? Either way, mYinsanity is running this draft.
If they pull... No, they can't now. They have to pick it now. That's the thing.
Right, because of the double pick.
Before they had first pick, which allowed them to rotate their last two picks the way that the draft order goes, they would have to pick it up now, which doesn't quite fall into the same wheelhouse as what we saw before, but... We've already seen it once. Why not again? Falstad would not be a bad pick at all. I love the fact that Dignitas did take away Lunara with that ban, though.
And Dig does have 3 very, very strong heroes for Infernal Shrines. Okay, Anubarak, Falstad.
Think of that. We've just seen Cocoon coming in from mYinsanity. Cocoon, Mighty Gust. The target that gets popped afterwards is almost dead, for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for Dignitas to deal with this. And with the comp that they have, though, if Dignitas can get like the first couple Punisher, Sylvanas pushing in.
Yes.
is gonna give them an extremely large lead, but it's all about it's all gonna be about, I guess, getting that momentum going and not falling. If they fall behind, it's gonna be so hard for them to do anything really.
I wouldn't be surprised to see a Chen picked up here, simply just for Alex the Pro G as a comfort pick.
I feel like it moves heavily in favor of Muradin.
Sure, he's still open, you're right.
Wow, it's crazy that Muradin is this far down into the draft. There is Muradin as the final pick. So this is, again, the same thing as before. We see meta versus style for mYinsanity. And they're looking at Zagara. Again, not something that's normally meta, but for them, for mYinsanity, it is a very common pick.
ETC was never even considered here. Whereas I feel like if there had been a Chinese team in there, they would have grabbed it for sure, tried to make some people dance. Shrines and skeletons or not.
I do still believe it's up to mYinsanity to make something happen fight-wise, because Team Dignitas, you're right, if they win Shrines, they do so much more with it with Sylvanas. Zul will be split pushing, and Sonya is great at just wave clearing and taking out those Guardians on the Shrines.
mYinsanity with Diablo and Anubarak alone, I feel like bodies out Sonya, Zul, Muradin.
That's true.
And it forces them to play a little bit more reserved with that front line, does Team Dignitas going up against mYinsanity's front line. So it's a battle of wills. Once again, none of the quote-unquote cheese involved in this one. I think it's just straight up, this is a brawl. This is a brawl where the objective matters. And if you don't get it, you just spend a bunch of time doing pretty much nothing.
And there's just so much wombo combo potential as well. On the side of mYinsanity, we see Diablo and Zagara. Maybe a Maw into Apocalypse. I mean, it's very hard to pull off, but it's certainly something that if any team can do it, it's definitely going to be mYinsanity, because they've got a masterful Zagara player in Hazuabs in their roster, guys.
Hazuabs, I mean, we highlighted him before the game even started when they did the introductions. You talked about his history. That guy is a legend. He makes plays happen. He doesn't falter, and I think that's going to be enough for them to carry it. I mean, I love the fact that what they've done with their draft, and the Diablo pick alone sells me on their draft.
I really liked his Vikings play last game as well. You know, Eric pushing all the way to the keep with his slingshot and getting some quite good damage. So definitely looking to try and continue with this here, though. But Dignitas, their mental state here is going to be very important. I don't feel like they particularly lost the drafts. They didn't win it very convincingly either, so it's going to be anybody's game.
Todd, what do you think? Who's going to win this?
It's such a hard one. I'm going to stay with Dignitas, I think.
Right, you're not abandoning the ship.
Yeah,
I like it.
I want a 2-1, no matter what.
Okay, fair enough. Fair point. Gilly, what do you say?
That's exactly what I want. I want a game 3, so let's go Dignitas. Bring it back. Show us that you've got the power.
I want it too, but the power of Diablo on Infernal Shrines too much. I'm giving it to mYinsanity.
And I guess I have to agree. If it weren't mYinsanity, I probably wouldn't be as confident in that team comp. But however, as we pointed out, Hazuabs, Nuruk, they are calm and collected, and I think they can take this baby home and make it all the way to the playoffs, guys. For now, though, Dignitas against mYinsanity for game number 2. Our casters are going to be once again Kalaris and Dreadnought. Take it away, boys, and get us hyped for this second game.
That's right, Todd and Gilly. I also want a game number 3. It's got nothing to do with that flag right there. Hopefully, Dignitas are able to actually do something here with this draft that they have. I'm a little bit passionate, Dread, about this video game.
Yeah, so much so that you had to make the excuse that it doesn't involve the flag. It does.
Oh, well, let's get into it. Game number 2 here with mYinsanity to the left-hand side. We shall do those intros right after we've had this pause sorted here, Dread. Yes, no bias whatsoever, even though Kendrick picked the full German team almost.
Actually, it looks like the game is already going to be fixed here, so we're good to go.
Let's get it gone. It said I resumed the game.
Team, hello?
It said Kylaris resumed the game.
Please.
That wasn't, I'm sorry, I need to write, I apologize. I'm sorry.
Anyways, one thing, let's looking at the compositions here. We have the Sonya, Zul, Sylvanas coming out on the side of Team Dignitas here. And one thing that we pointed out when the draft was happening, I was very worried about the Uther picks, specifically largely going into the Diablo with the Lightning Breath opportunity. And there's also a small option of APOC when you look at the amount of melees that exist. And also APOC is still very, very viable and a great follow-up to a possible Maw. But either way, Uther usually struggles either into the Lightning Breath or into the APOC either way.
All right, we are in game number 2 here with mYinsanity to the left-hand side. Blumby will be playing Diablo. Dartmock will be playing Anubarak. Splendor on Rehgar, Hasuobs on Falstad, and Nurok on Zagara.
And for Team Dignitas, we're going to have JPL is going to be on the Sonya, Mene on Sylvanas, Zul will be played by Snitch, Alex the Pro G on the Murden, and Bakery on the Uther.
Not the most common thing that you see with Mene on Sylvanas, but here we go. Already on towards the tower, doing about half of the health worth of damage, but they will be backing away for now. So it's all on this for Team Dignitas. They have to win this to keep their hopes alive, otherwise they are done. That would mean mYinsanity would move on to the round of 4.
Yeah, I know. Speaking of players playing heroes that we don't typically see, actually, the Zagara is going to be played by Nurok for mYinsanity.
And Hasuobs on the Falstad, so just a little bit of mix-up there. You're right, normally we do see Hasuobs on that Zagara, but of course, with the current composition that they've got going, they're going to try and work that out like it is. They take a tower, do Dignitas towards the top. That gives them a little bit of an experience advantage, and that's the power of Sylvanas, especially if mYinsanity isn't paying attention to those little rotations.
Yeah, I like the fact that they're using the Zul to isolate and get the clear in the side lanes here, but a small skirmish. Hasuob's going to get the fly in there. The 4-man body block, though. He is absolutely surrounded. Shade's going to be on cooldown now, but Blumby missing the burrow, Darkmok missing the burrow to be able to secure the kill.
Not too bad at all, as we will see. Let's take a little bit of a look at things, and the entirety of Dignitas is actually moving down towards this location. They've abandoned the idea of top towards Zagara, but Zagara is so far back that she doesn't realize that they've all rotated down towards the bottom right now. Otherwise, she'd be happily pushing lane and being very content. So there was a little bit of apprehension there from Zagara.
Yeah, and they are running with a 1-4 here for Team Dignitas. It's something that is pretty common if you have superior wave clear on Infernal Shrines, but now we're going to have the Shrine spawning in the upper half of the map.
And that is good for mYinsanity. With the amount of creep that has been set up there by Zagara already, means she has a bit at a time of actually retreating, means that very unlikely you can see flanks up from that bottom.
Yeah, but Team Dignitas is going to send Zul to soak mid and bottom, while they send Sonya to get a decent amount of clear and harass when it comes to the map objective here. I feel like they have a really powerful composition, whereas Hasuobs and the rest of mYinsanity are going to have to force 5-man rotation. So if Dig plays this properly, I think they'll get the upper hand.
Yeah, good point about that. Of course, Sonya has a fantastic presence on that shrine, and this will continue to just push on while Zul does his thing. Falstad even goes way to the bottom to actually soak as well, so they're allocating their resources well.
Yeah, they're trying to adjust to the Zul getting the rotation. It's not a surprising strategy. It's actually very common. So it's all going to come down to who gets more effect. Is it going to be the double tank here, or is Sonya going to be thriving when it comes to this map objective? And it looks like, I mean, mYinsanity is harassing them out completely here.
Yeah.
Bakery on Uther doesn't have enough heals. They have to be able to commit as a team, even though they are down only 2 when it comes to skeletal defenders.
Push them off. The front line of Diablo and Anubarak is actually quite annoying to deal with for them. It's not exactly an impenetrable force there, to the point where mYinsanity can just keep pushing it against them, and they've taken the lead.
Yeah, actually, and JPL just used the spin, so he's not going to have it. All right, it's going to be available again here. So the skirmish, the stun into the wall here. Now finally getting aggressive.
Going on towards Blumby here. He may end up dying. He did take Soul Feast to begin things off, though. He will die, and he doesn't have 60 souls at least, so he will not be reviving anytime soon here. Devil's Due, I should say, not Soul Feast, but Alex will get away up towards the top.
Yeah, and Snitch trying to get the flank there, but it's not going to matter. Alex the Pro G is going to get hit by the stuns. We'll get the Dwarf Toss out of this and be totally fine. So yes, Dignitas did get the rotation and able to get a kill, but they did lose the Punisher.
Yeah, not fantastic on their side, but at least they've got that little experience advantage. It's Frozen Punisher, so they've got to be a bit careful about their almost a full melee comp actually trying to do damage to that Punisher, but they're okay. They had to have Alex pushing them off against that gate.
And like, speaking of the almost all melee composition, I can't help but fear that post 10, Diablo is going to gain so much value no matter what heroic he decides to stake. Actually, the aggression on the Snitch here, Shade's going to be popped, so he will be able to survive this situation. But again, both of his heroics do well in chokeholds and against melees. What map are we on, and how many melees are there?
Exactly. There is a lot of chokeholds and a lot of melees here at the moment here on Infernal Shrines. As Blumby just starts that easy camp for a moment. It looked as if he was just using Fire Stomp actually to make sure there was nobody in that bush. As we change priorities of what he was actually doing there, and this is quite ambitious by Dignitas. They're actually going to go forwards and miss the Storm Bolts, and Darkmok is fine.
Yeah, just trying to get the bait out here, using Snitch as best they can because of his great wave clear to try and maybe bait somebody out. Getting a decent amount of harassment as well, but flipped over the wall, he's going to just get the Dwarf Toss out. Meanwhile, Blumby's taking a lot of harass here, Kalaris.
Yeah, he is. He will move away for the moment. I think he should have 60 souls by now, so even if he did die, it would be okay, but not ideal. Nowhere near ideal. You want to be saving those souls anyway, even gathering up to 100 to the point where you die losing 60 souls, but then you have 40 in reserve, so it's very easy to get that resurrection once again, going into a bigger team fight.
And we just see at 4 that Sonya decided to not worry about the bonus splash damage to get extra clear when it comes to the Shrine, instead going with a focused attack, so she'll be a lot more successful if she managed to get the flank on the backline, like onto Hasselhoffs or on Zagara, for instance. They'll have a bit more kill potential, but again, not nearly as effective when it comes to the Shrine by herself.
All right, so still waiting out these camps, the hard camp being timed out so that the Shrine can be activated. Likewise, we've seen Diablo towards the top doing exactly the same thing. So depending on who actually starts cleaning that up, well, somebody could have a potential advantage up towards top.
Yeah, and so, no, I feel like the fall set should make the rotation here, but Hasselhoffs is going to be a little bit late. He's not going to want to burn his flight cooldown, so I think it's going to be a 5 versus 5 commitment to the Shrine.
Dignitas set up a quick parameter here,
Render.
actually. And that is pushing mYinsanity off there quite quickly. Dartmock went in quite far, so now he has to burrow charge on out of there, but they've got an exceedingly strong monster advantage on that Shrine.
Yeah, and that's just with a great wave clear between Zool and Sonya, and Hasselhoffs made that rotation to the upper half of the map, so they're pretty much conceding this Shrine over to Team Dignitas, and they're going to be getting a decent XP advantage, and with Sylvanas in the specialist that they have, probably going to be a minimum of 4 here. They're going to look for the fight.
Yeah, this game needs to turn on its head for mYinsanity post-10, because otherwise, right now, Dignitas looks in control, and as Hasselhoffs is putting a little bit of pressure on towards the top, getting himself some towers, knowing that they don't need the full 5-man to actually defend that, but they will lose 4, and actually, Dignitas is going to get a bit more value out of this Punisher.
Yeah, because Sylvanas was able to cripple the fort so well, and mYinsanity sent Falstad to the upper half of the map. They are going to get value out of the Shaman camp, but I feel like Dignitas, without a doubt, is going to gain more value down in the bottom half here. See if they try to get a follow-up onto this Punisher lead that's going to be coming in soon. Not going to happen because no gate wall is down quite yet.
And they jump on towards the Nubarak there as Hasselhoffs is going to have to start basing now. Still trying to pursue him, but Burrow Charge will get him away from that. The keep is shut down. Poison Over's going to come in as well. It hardly hit anybody, really. It didn't do too much at all. Nurok was hit at the back there, and they're going to try and pounce on towards Alex. Ancestral Heal's already been used on Dartmock there to try and get him a little bit more healthy, and the Gust on towards Sonya, trying to steal her in. Divine Shield's been used on her. Will she get away? She actually mounted up during all of that, and Dartmock once again is in the thick of things.
Yeah, Bakery's done a really good job of keeping his team alive there, and if anybody was going to be able to survive, I feel like he maybe needed to kill himself. But again, a great cleanse coming out from him, and the D-Shield to try and keep his team alive. They get the keep almost completely dead. It's sitting at like 25%.
He's going for keep.
The great escape, I believe.
Where's he going?
He's got this, dude.
He's got it. He's got
Only
it.
a matter of time.
That Hydra, nothing.
This is actually hurting his team more than it's helping. It's delaying another death, which is going to give more time for a man advantage for them to gain the lead. He should have suicided.
Yeah. There you go.
Like, it's neat to walk all the way back there, but guess what? Now they have, what is it, going to be 30 seconds of an advantage, which they can force something elsewhere on the map.
I wouldn't mind it if there was something else for them to take on the map. But because there isn't really, other than an easy camp,
I mean, I agree. I guess maybe I'm too try-hard in the min-max world, but I know that...
I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah. There isn't a major objective that they need to be worried about too much, but again, we need to see Dignitas trying to make sure they get everything they can out of all these situations if they're going to be able to take this game, because you got to remember, they've lost the first 3 games today that they played against mYinsanity.
Yes, they have. And actually, fun fact that Snitch told me before going into this series, Dignitas has never beaten... I think it, let me try and remember this. Dignitas has never beaten mYinsanity in a best of 3, but mYinsanity has never beaten Dignitas in a best of 5. It's always been either 3-0 or 2-0, depending on the situation. Which is really weird.
It is a little weird.
Yeah, so there you go.
But now we do see Hasselhoffs again getting that split pressure onto the map. He's done a very good job keeping his team even in the experience, even though obviously structurally they've fallen quite far behind because they weren't 10 and Sylvanas abusing that Punisher. Next Shrine's going to be spawning Kalaris. This is going to be a very big turning point, especially if Dignitas manages to get this Punisher. I feel like that's going to be a free keep on the bottom half of the map.
Yeah, it may be. That's an Arcane Punisher as well, so this is quite the beast. 13 and 13, approaching almost at exactly the same time for these two teams. And you can see Alex trying to position himself to wrap around this composition with Falstack currently not there, but of course he can fly up when needed.
It does look like he's going to be making that rotation right now. JPL is trying to get some harassment onto the front line of mYinsanity, but so far these teams just kind of going even here. Worried about the skeletal defenders. The lead does exist. Oh, but actually Hasselhoff's maybe getting cut out.
Yeah, Darmok's gone a little bit far there as well. Needs Burrow Charge to get out of there if he's gonna, and he will do. And a Lightning Breath already been used, but really didn't catch anybody against this almost full melee composition. Really didn't get as much value as he would like. Jay is quite low though, so he needs to be healed up a little bit here by Bakery. And Darmok trying to get the stun on towards him, not that effective enough. Divine Shield been popped on Muradin. This is a bit of a big deal here. Doesn't have it for Sonya later on if they're actually going to continue on with this fight. They're all quite low. The more tried to lock someone away, and yes, it will for a while. Bakery was the target, but it didn't kill off JPL quick enough to try and actually get the advantage off of it.
That was such a weird team fight for Dignitas. Bakery doing a great job keeping his team alive. What looks absolutely terrible for them, stacking their heroics and not getting anything out of it. Ended up going the opposite direction where they did manage to pick up the Punisher here.
That fight was all over the place and difficult to cast, let's be honest.
It was all over the place. Like, burning the Divine Shield onto the Muradin is the last thing that you want to do as the Uther. You want a minimum of Zul getting a great Poison Nova in the middle of the opponents, or Wrath of the Berserker, Sonya spinning on everybody, getting herself heal. Hasselhoff does a great job barrel rolling and actually getting the fight out to keep himself alive there as well.
They've been doing a good job of actually negating the amount of damage coming out from Poison Nova just based on positioning alone. They've actually, in the last 2 Poison Nova situations, not really taken much damage from it at all.
Yeah, but when you have Diablo burn his Lightning Breath with such little value in that team fight that early on, you really are like, okay, this is our moment to be able to take a fight. And then it just went absolutely terrible for Dignitas, their entire approach to it. Even with the Gust not necessarily being the most valuable, I just feel like that was a little sloppy, honestly, from both of these teams. But they're going to probably... I feel like mYinsanity is going to be able to clean it up for the most part. Their composition is, as long as they're a little bit more patient with their decision-making, don't take as much harass, they'll be in a better situation.
As much as these two teams are well-versed in a LANX situation, this is still... This is all. Like, you move on to the top 4 with this series, and that is higher in the current 2016 format than any Western team has been before.
Ever. Yeah, but one of these teams is going to essentially make history in the year of 2016 for Heroes of the Storm. So.
Exactly. So it's a big deal here. There's a lot on the line.
I love this choice from Dignitas to try and threaten that keep because they do have a decent amount of harass and wave clear here.
And it's so low.
Yeah, it's a position where they might be able to make something happen here. At the same time, if they manage to fail this at all, not only is mYinsanity gaining more XP over them right now with that half-level lead, but also they could lose way more than just their lives after that trade.
Backing off at the moment, knowing that 16 is potential soon, and that easy camp will be taken pretty rapidly by them there with mYinsanity. Hot on their heels, but not hot enough.
It's actually a decision that we just saw from mYinsanity, or Dig, that I'd like to see a bit more when opponents are facing into a false ad. Just feigning the rotation to make them need to respond, so they can't just get that free soak in the upper half of the map, right? Just be like, okay, we're going to take your keep. The minute he backs, you go, okay, well, now he's not getting free soak. We're maintaining our XP lead.
It needs to be a 5v5, or you need to have Gust available to disengage from that if you need to be.
Yeah, the worst part about that, though, is if you do that without an XP advantage, he just flies behind you and gusts you, and you need to lose the whole fight. So it is very situational approach to that. Don't just hop into your hero of the game with that strat.
No. Don't follow Dread's advice is what we're going to take away from that one.
In short, that's about it. The TLDR, don't listen to Dread.
Yeah. Oh, no, I never do. I mean... But anyway, into 16s now, of course. The usual suspect's been taken over on the other side. Splendor taking Earthgrasp Totem as is common. And Dignitas just trying to find their 16 themselves while the Shrine fight has already advanced quite far. They're taking this quite ambitiously, but 16 has hit now.
Yeah, they just managed to get the 16, which is great for them, but they are down 21 of the skeletal defenders here. They're on the back foot. They're going to look to get aggressive here, but a great impale, and the Burrow coming in.
Oh, and actually he's taking epicenter, so he's going to reset very, very quickly here for that Burrow charge as well, as Nurok has gone in quite far. Once again, the Poison Nova catches 3 of them, but they already get the Punisher. That's a double man more. This is good for mYinsanity here. They gust Sonya away. Oh, and they blow up 2 instantly as they come out of that more. Brilliant for mYinsanity.
Oh, they played that team fight so well. And if you that team fight, Blumby single-handedly zoned 3 targets from the other chokehold when it came to the Shrine there. Then you see the follow-up mod. They just absolutely obliterated Dignitas there. Very well done on their side. And now with the Punisher, they're going to be threatening this key front wall, but they decide to not even use Falstad with them in the siege.
This is a lot of pressure that mYinsanity is here putting on. I mean, look at the timers as well. Sylvanas and Zul died exactly at the same second. That's how much AoE potential they had underneath that more. Very, very powerful careful here from mYinsanity as they're looking to put on the pressure against this keep, and that will not only even things out because the keep on the other side isn't dead, but it will even put it in favor of mYinsanity after Dignitas threatened the bottom lane this whole game long.
Yeah, and one thing to point out that was beautiful when mYinsanity, I was talking about how their shot calling is just so efficient at times. They end up not even using false head, sending them top, clearing out the shaman camp, not losing the fort, gaining 2 waves of XP, and still securing the keep on the bottom half of the map. They just are min-maxing their resources in a lot of different areas as best as they possibly can. It's very impressive coming out from them.
Dignitas now up against it a little bit. They've got a significant level disadvantage now, and that bottom lane is always going to have to be tended to. Zul probably a very good option to do that since he can actually push back against it pretty hard, but it is quite annoying for them to deal with, especially if the next shrine is a top shrine, which it has the potential to be.
Yeah, it does have that opportunity. It's a rough spot if Dignitas, if you are in the shoes of Dignitas, they need to be looking to force the fight, maybe get just a Chinese Bushman and find somebody somewhere, get a poke here. And you see this aggressive rotation. It looks like that's what we're going to be looking for. Alex is going to be moving into the shrub.
Taking the advantage of that, there's not too much creep around there. Although creep was in just spread between that location. You can see it just under Nurok now, and he's continuing to do so, knowing that that is one of the potentials for Dignitas to try and find their way back in.
Yeah, and one thing to keep in mind as well, with how great we saw Diablo being able to zone on that last shrine, now that he is sitting in that 16 position, it's just with imposing presence, you can't even focus him and get the kill when you are Dignitas. Every single person is just going to be shut down there, so they need to find a different way to be able to deal with the lightning breath, whether it be, I personally think baiting it out and then disengaging.
On towards the Nubarak here, he will burrow charge away. That was a good dwarf toss and stun by Alex, but in the end, it really doesn't accomplish much here for them.
I mean, could you say in the end it doesn't even matter?
You could say that, and all YouTube videos across the world, montages would be relevant.
Dignitas now looking to get another camp pushing for them. They're still yet to be able to take this fight. Meanwhile, mYinsanity sits 75% away from getting level 20 here, and they're playing as passive as possible. They realize they don't even need to take this fight. They're more worried about 20 than anything. Dig has to force the shrine as fast as possible.
Not only is mYinsanity just sitting back and chilling out, but they've created a barrier of creep to the point where they can't even be flanked. So it's really, really nice to see how mYinsanity have set this up. They don't really care too much. As I said, the top shrine now being a thing means that the bottom lane is going to be pushing so hard for mYinsanity.
Yeah, they have the 3 catapults going to be moving in here, but they need to get on the shrine and clear it as best they can. Dignitas is playing this as best as they can. They need to force this and push the issue before their opponents that manage to get to 20. You see them moving in. This is the fight they need to take.
Yeah, they had a great
Take it away from the shrine, though.
They had a great start to Dignitas, but now mYinsanity is really pressing the issue. Those catapults will be on core very, very soon. They need to take this fight perfectly. If it's to break out, they need to take it before level 20 as well. Are they going to turn around? Already invulnerability on towards Zul there at the front of things. Alex is going to try and put some pressure on towards Zagara as well. Lightning Breath comes out. Not level 20 just yet. The gust away. 2 are in that. Alex as well as Stitch. Ancestral heal on towards Darmok there to try and keep him alive. And Stitch does end up going down. mYinsanity here putting on the pressure, even stealing the shrine away from them.
Yeah, actually, Dignitas managed to get the shrine, so the Punisher is going to be fighting for them at this time. It's moving away, and nobody's managed to get out. They aren't 20 quite yet. Everybody's health bar is low. Mene getting the Haunted Wave clear.
Still little rotations around that double Haunted Wave. Gets him away, but that burrow charge from Darmok chases him down and picks him up as well. mYinsanity still on the way. The Punisher trying to battle for them, but Zagara blinks away from that. Alex is going to end up going down to the pressure of 5. They get locked down by that. Oh my god, the Punisher's saving them!
Oh, he's going in. JPL managed to secure another kill, and it's just wailing away on mYinsanity. JPL, meanwhile, sitting 20, falling under 100 health. Alex is trying to make something happen.
Are they surviving?
Yeah, they're going to be able to survive. They're trying to be able to get them back, but they aren't going to let him back.
They've got to run. Darmok here. They come in, and that's going to be actually going down. Bakery didn't have any more heals to keep him alive. The Punisher is going to put on pressure as well, but it's not going to matter. Bakery's going to fall. They don't have 20. He will not revive. Alex, is he able to get away? Oh, Zul's back up. That fight took so long. Zul is back up on the other side.
Alex, though, finds Nurok trying to get the damage out onto him. He doesn't have the 300% at 13 here, so he won't be able to solo that kill. Meanwhile, Blummy's going to be trying to hunt him down. That was...
What was that fight?
I don't even know.
What?
It was just battle.
It feels like I fainted and I've just come from a blackout. That was ridiculous.
Oh, man. And one thing I wanted to point out was right before that fight that just popped out is that I would like to see Dignitas stop taking these fights and these chokeholds. That is where the composition,
Yes.
like a new Baraka is going to thrive in that area, getting maximum value out of the Locust Swarm. So is Diablo. It's in the territory that they're taking it. Move away from the Shrine, Dignitas, and they have a far better odds of winning a fight.
The Punisher single-handedly saved them that fight and saved them this game, I would say. I thought Dignitas was done before the Punisher decided to turn around and go do-do-do-do for a little while. I can't believe how much that saved them. And now, mYinsanity is still putting on the pressure. Dignitas still needs level 20 Dread.
They do need to level 20, and they have no ability to get free soak here. Mid lane is going to be the only one available. Meanwhile, top and bottom are pushed out enough that they probably can't risk their positioning. So mYinsanity is going to be abusing this, backing out, getting as much pressure as they can, taking probably double Shaman Camp for now. Dignitas has a chance to come back in this game, but it's only through top and bottom. Nothing is going to be able to happen through the mid lane.
Yes, they do. Rotating towards top, making sure that there's not going to be any push towards there. They need to clean up that hard camp and get level 20. They somehow need it, but even still, actually, it's difficult for them to soak experience because the lanes are so far away from their base.
Yeah.
So mYinsanity is zoning them out.
Yeah, they are denying XP appropriately from Dignitas, and they're just trying to wait as best they can to be able to get it here. They're going to lose a little bit more damage onto their front wall. Keep in mind, they've already lost the keep on the bottom half of the map, and mYinsanity is yet to drop one so far. If they do get 20 again, if they're managed to take a fight, they have to do it away from the Shrine.
Yeah.
They can't do it in a chokehold, and they can't take the fight around the where Locust Swarm is going to gain value.
Completely agree. They're able to gain level 20 now as the talents do come in. We're seeing Redemption already out, Ignore Pain, Bolt of the Storm, Zul and Muradin are still waiting on theirs, but here comes the Shrine, and this Shrine on bot lane, this surely is the decider of this game.
Yeah, unless he decides to get the turnaround like he did last time, saving the game here. This is going to be very interesting to see if this plays out. mYinsanity has a lot of pressure on the map.
Mortal Wound out for Zul as well. So against Ancestral Healing, we've seen how much that is able to soak up. Here come mYinsanity, moving aggressively onto the Shrine location. They're going to start it. Arcane Punisher, timer on the clock now. JPL, oh, takes a lot of damage there. They're going straight on towards him. And the Divine Shield's going to be able to save him for quite a while. Gust, as well as the more. Who's in there? It's Snitch. Can they save him? Yes, they will. Plenty of shields go on towards him, as well as the Shade. Alex is in the back lines trying to cause disruption.
That was so much damage coming out, but they stack Divine Shield and Ignore Pain. Meanwhile, Dark Knight's got to get aggressive. Wailing Arrow still available. Ancestral doesn't hit it here. He goes down.
Anubrak is down. At the same time, Dignitas are all quite low here. They're trying to contest this. There's a lot of monsters still available. The Wailing is still up. Oh my god, if they're able to activate that in a good position, this could be disastrous for Dignitas. They're taking it very slowly. They've got themselves 29 of 25 against that. And now Dignitas, they're healed a little bit more. They're going to come back in for the fight.
They're trying to buy as much time as they possibly can. Mene is looking to get the best Wailing Arrow that he can over his opponents here. They need to be able to move up here.
Going for it. Ancestral heal on towards Diablo as well. I think that's all the time.
Down.
He ends up going down there. They get themselves the Punisher. Dignitas, though, this could be their opportunity if they're able to do something. But they're also low Dread.
It's going to be a 4 versus 4 moving into the core. They don't have very many tools. Their Gust is going to be available as they move in. The keep is almost dead already.
I don't think
they need to secure a kill. They have to secure 1 kill.
They have
to secure 2. And with Gust, I don't think they can do this here.
Anubrak's going to be up soon anyway as well, right?
Yeah, there's no way they can end the game. They have to get a keep here, and they're going to back out, take the next fight. Sending Sylvanas back, the smartest choice because she has the best wave clear on the team. Secure the keep, which is getting baited away. Nobody went in to secure the keep.
So they're not even going to get keep with this. Look at the control from mYinsanity.
And they're moving it back here, and it's not even going to get any value here. Somebody needs to help. Oh, get it.
It did nothing.
Oh my goodness.
That one arcane laser might do something to that bottom keep, but that's it.
That was an absolute must-have for Team Dignitas. They needed to make sure that it went down
and then
to get the disengage there. They were afraid of the Gust. That really hurts them. Again, it is still an opportunity for them to win the game with how easy that is. I mean, you can pretty much look at it, it's going to be falling down for them. So.
This is why I love casting Europe versus Europe, especially the top-tier Europe.
Yeah.
The games are just silly and ridiculous. I mean, really, high, top level between one another, but this is crazy. What a game. I can't believe, even just the decision-making, to drag that Punisher away from the keep. Yeah, it's so good.
I feel like that fight should have been better for mYinsanity, even with all the tools that they got off, and Dignitas was able to turn it around. I feel like now, post-20, that Dignitas might have the upper hand here. They're trying to get aggressive, and they might be able to get Dark Mach. Oh, he showed right as he was going to turn the corner there.
Yeah. A little bit unlucky for them. They didn't have full vision around that corner, did Dignitas. Neither did mYinsanity, but mYinsanity will kind of come out on top in that regard. And
they can't go in this chokehold.
No. It's too much. Way too much.
Don't move in there.
Imagine Lightning Breath with Hellstorm in that chokehold.
Yeah. Okay, so they don't take the fight in that chokehold. And again, I really want to see them taking those fights maybe in a more open lane area. Yes, you might have to force the gust out of your opponent, but past that, you pretty much thrive in those situations for Dignitas composition. They just haven't been able to get them.
We're slowly getting onto one of the longer games of this tournament as Dignitas try and wrestle back some kind of normality, anything to try and stabilize in this series. It is their last chance. mYinsanity is putting on so much pressure in this game, and Snitch is going to clean the hard camp towards the top, get that sent on its way. Shrine towards the top. Once again, timer now above them.
Yeah, the timer is going to be up, and they will have the Benediction cooldown will be up about 10 seconds after the Shrine. I was worried because he burnt it on that camp there, and it's actually a cooldown that they have to have to be successful in these team fights, whether it's isolating Malfurion, getting a double stun, or getting the double Q off to be able to keep people alive through the Lightning Breath. So it will be available for them. With how much pressure mYinsanity have onto the core here, you see Sylvanas is going to be looking to get the clear. That's going to give them a minimum of a 10 to 15 advantage when it comes to the Skeletal Defenders. All right, he's going to make the rotation. I feel like if you... Those 4 minions were not worth the delay that Sylvanas has. You either commit or you don't. And right now they are very torn in their decision-making. They realize this could be game-ending. Dignitas needs to take this fight, again, away from the Shrine.
Sonya already on that with the Whirlwind, and Snitch just waiting in the wings. They know he's there, though, I think. He's going to try and lock down Volstad. Can they blow him up before he actually does anything here? Has to Orbs, going down to 30% health, Ancestral Healing, but Splendor during all of that, he gets saved by the Storm Shield. He ends up going down. There's 2 in the more at the moment. Has taking a lot of damage from the poison. Uther ends up falling as well. Both healers are down on either side. That's going to be Diablo falling. 2 for 1.
He has no souls. Uther's going to come back to life. This is 5 versus 3 at this point in the game. Bakery's coming back. They do have a little bit of pressure on the core, but it's not going to matter.
They're just going to go.
They can't. They cannot win this game. Somebody, as long as somebody backs up, they will not be able to. But nobody on the side of Dick is actually backing yet. They haven't smelled it out quite yet. Nobody has started their backs. Falstad's already going to get on it. Keep in mind, Falstad doesn't even have Gust. Oh, Uther brought them to... Oh, Manny did manage to get the back, so Manny's going to be back.
Okay, so this is very ambitious by mYinsanity. It's almost just kind of forced, realizing that they know they're in a tight predicament.
Back. Zool and Sonya stayed on the Shrine. This was perfect decision-making from Dignitas.
30 seconds before anybody's up as well here. So 20 seconds, 21 seconds. mYinsanity's still waiting. Are they going to try and just
They're going to wait till they push it. Yeah, they're going to wait till they push out and go for the core again. They realize that they can't really defend effectively.
Yeah.
And actually, JPL is holding on to this here. This is an interesting choice coming out from him. Just trying to figure out the decision-making on the side of mYinsanity first. And there he goes. He's going to get the cap.
All right, Frozen Punisher, Dread. Frozen Punisher with this. And now everyone is back for mYinsanity. They can defend this and continue the game on.
I just want to say that Mortal Wound was the only reason that teamfight went the way that it did.
Yes.
He had insane value on the kill targets and ensured the fact that there was no way to be able to survive. Dignitas needs to take the sidewall, get the follow-up here, do something aggressive.
Here we go. Jumps across the wall here. Alex is going to follow them on. But actually, also, the Gust comes out as well. Alex is trapped in here for a moment. Thankfully, he has Stoneform as well as Avatar. He pops it all. And that Punisher is already down towards half health. Here comes the Hellstorm Lightning Breath as well. Interrupted overall. The Blumby has to move on away from that to know that he's going to try and keep himself alive. Ancestral Healing's already been used as well as the Silence on towards that. But they're going to get themselves keep. I don't think they can get more, though.
That's going to be the first keep here for Dignitas, falling down 27.5 minutes into this game.
Oh, God.
They're going to be making the rotation here, probably securing the fort onto the middle half of the map. But oh my goodness,
this game,
these teams going so back and forth.
If Dignitas wins this, we get a game at number 3, Dread. I cannot. I sincerely hope that happens, not just for English pride, not just for the flag, not just for the Queen, whatever you want to say, just anything. I want to see a game number 3, considering what we've seen so far. But still, mYinsanity, and now Dignitas even just have the potential of blowing this game up.
Yeah, Dignitas actually hasn't lost a fight post-20.
That's true.
They were getting absolutely obliterated in the early half of this game, but now seem to struggle to be able to really just like mYinsanity can't do anything in these fights.
Mortal Wound and Ignore Pain are getting so much value in this.
Even when they stacked Divine Shield and Ignore Pain, it didn't even matter. Sonya was able to keep herself alive with their defensive tools. It feels like they are going to need a really great isolation here from Zagara and Falstad if they're going to be able to win this team fight here. But now all Dignitas is doing, trying to clear up the ways, provide vision for the team because they are struggling a little bit in that department.
And there's patience on either side. Neither team wants to slip up. Neither team wants to make a false move and then just kind of, you know, haphazardly go for core. Anything like that. You can't in a 5v5 situation in this. It's so difficult to make work. And now, I would have said mYinsanity would have the advantage before 20 if they were to try and do that. But now with, like, Mortal Wound, the blow-up potential on the side of Dignitas, like, it's equal to the Mighty Gust that we're seeing on mYinsanity. Dignitas side.
It absolutely is, and Dig is actually doing a great job of clearing up this creep as well, trying to remove the vision for mYinsanity. I thought they were going to try and posture up again on that bottom keep and maybe take a fight into that open area, but they decided to opt out of that. They're worried about taking this fight onto the shrine here.
Here we go.
Speaking of,
Yeah, this is what they were both waiting for, this shrine to pop. Hardcamp's going to be pushing top, and it will meet another Hardcamp, of course, from either side. And now Dignitas. How are they going to posture? Because previously in some of these shrine fights, they've actually had pre-posturing against mYinsanity, but this time, mYinsanity has the positional advantage, I would say.
yeah, they are getting in this rotation a bit quicker. Alex already moving in his chokehold. See if Hasawab's, he might be able to move through here. No, he's going to get the clear on the mid.
He's got to be so careful as has to. He's got to go the safe way. But that being said, Darkmog's going to be pressured to start things off. You can see already Mortal Wound was on Darkmog there for a moment. JPL at the front, Wrath of the Berserker getting big value. Still a lot of time on Wrath of the Berserker full, in fact, and he just whirlwinds and gets 3 monsters to start things off. Oh my god! Ancestral Heal as well. Chain Heal. The Chain Heal was perfect there to get the Ancestral Heal off the back of that. And Blumby here just tries to peel them off for a moment. Hastu stays alive.
But that is a lot of cooldowns. Only Ma and Lightning Breath are going to be the only ones available. Dignitas going to be moving in here, Claire's.
Oh, that was a great little burrow there from Darkmog. He has to catch 3 as well as the Morg actually catching 2 of them. Will JPL die? He's invulnerable. Bakery comes out of the Morg. 2 of them die from the Morg. And oh my god, mYinsanity fly forward here, trying to get on towards many. That could be it for Dignitas as JPL ends up going down. The Bakery is back, but it's not going to be enough. It is a full team wipe, and Dignitas call the GG. What a game here as mYinsanity will move on to the core dread and finish off this series.
They are going to be the first Western team to make it to the top 4 since BlizzCon of 2015. mYinsanity with an amazing showing here.
And Dignitas Bakery beat those Koreans, sending mYinsanity on their way, representing Europe. What a way to end this series, and what a way to advance on to the round of 4.
Just absolutely phenomenal play. That was a 31-minute and 18-second game. So back and forth between these teams. And I mean, mYinsanity, you can see they're very happy and proud of what they've been able to do. And I mean, I would be as well. That was just great. It was great.
Dreadnought, from rags to riches, this team has come from the very, very bottom of the top 8 when it comes to Europe, through European Championships, through regional, being able to claim that off the kings of Europe that were Dignitas before, and then being able to beat them on the global stage and then move on to the round of 4. What an achievement by mYinsanity, now looking to represent Europe and do them proud.
I mean, honestly, they're a team that I think everybody from the Western scene should, if they don't already, look up to. I know I even personally do. Everything about what they do, their mentality, their approach to the game, and everything of the like is just very impressive, and I'm just absolutely ecstatic to see them do as well as they have managed to do. Look at Hasawab.
A proud pro gamer for sure. He's been around for a long time, but indeed he is proud. My head was about to explode at the end of that. I can't even. For now, though, we are going to head over to the panel to see what they think about that fantastic series.
Thank you very much, Kalauris and Dread, and we have no words that could express how epic this last fight or this last game was, because let's be honest, it couldn't have been any closer. mYinsanity is now officially the best team in Europe, and they are among the best 4 teams in the world. Only eStar Gaming, MVP Black, and Tempest are left for them to be to take on Jehao. What a game!
I mean, if you're looking to close out the day on anything, this is the game that you guys wanted to see, the back and forth constantly. I mean, the battle over the shrines, the back and forth with the kills. I mean, I don't even want to look at the numbers there. That was just a beautiful play by both teams. Unfortunately, one team had to go out, and that was Team Dignitas, but mYinsanity, I mean, they're proving why they're going on to be the top 4.
That was an amazing game, just all in general, but my favorite was Snitch playing Zul. I don't know if I've ever seen such money mortal wounds.
Oh, boy.
There was one ancestral healing that just didn't do basically anything because of that, and I don't know if I've ever seen a team get so much value out of that.
Todd, what are your final thoughts on this amazing
I
best
loved
of
it,
3?
man. I loved it. That top fight, I hope you see the replays. I feel like you need to do like maybe 15 replays for this game. Like, it was so good. Again, that top fight and the Punisher being there for so long, I had never seen I've never seen anything like it. It was so good.
It's unbelievable the amount of just when things like a normal team is going to crumble, the pressure there from the Punishers. I mean, they were able to pull out some amazing stuff. Both teams. It's incredible.
Jaeho, I know you're looking forward to this, and so are we. So take us through replay number 1.
I mean, this was actually a little bit earlier in the fight. Both teams at level 16, I believe, is when we're going to start here. And this is when you see Diablo really start to shine. The minute somebody comes out, but right there, let's go ahead and rewind this. Let's pause this real quick. Let's rewind to see how this fight started, because this is where everybody dives in. But watch Darkmok land this 3-person burrow. He's going to come in. He does that. The minute that happens, Blumby notices it, goes in. But there's a certain person named Bakery on Uther there who's going to go ahead and pop that D shield. Instantly, we see the lightning breath come out from Diablo. The back and forth. You see the poison nova coming out here from Snitch. The back and forth. Again, this is all that we saw. The burrow out. The wailing arrow came in. Now, let's pause it right there. That is the big play right there, because we see 2-person in that Devouring Maw. We're going to see Falstad rotate up. Let's go ahead and move this forward. We see the Mighty Gust come out. That's going to push Alex into the corner, but the follow-up here, that is 2 people gone, and that is where we see mYinsanity. Even through adversity, things look good early. Dignitas turned it around, and they still managed to follow up. These are some killer fights we saw today.
A lot of people, they say, oh, well, Zagara, battle momentum no longer affects Devouring Maw, so it's a long time if we don't get the right Maws. But Hasuops gets the right Maws, and that shows it. It's just amazing.
I mean, the cooldown could be 250 seconds. Hasuops wouldn't probably care about this too much, because if you need to land that Maw, he doesn't need many attempts.
That was
He's
Nurok.
always there.
That was Nurok.
Oh, excuse me, Nurok.
Zagara that
Oh.
time. Hasuops was on Falstad this
Right.
game.
Good point.
So they
Good
have
point.
multiple people, again, back to the flexibility of mYinsanity. They have multiple people who can play these heroes and play them well.
Yeah, it's no surprise that they all play them well either. That's just killer
I feel
stuff.
like, after Tours, if it wasn't clear enough that we are the best European team, now it definitely is.
Yeah.
4-0 against Dignitas here. Like, as much as I like Dignitas, I'm sorry, but they're only second now in Europe, and I can't wait to see what mYinsanity does tomorrow.
They can challenge the now reigning kings of Europe, as you mentioned, Todd, in the fall season. But replay number 2 is ready, Jaeho.
I mean, this is a little while later, the back and forth. Guys, this is the number one thing we've been talking about throughout this game. It was a very long game. And we see diving in JP. I'll pause it right there. This Diablo, the minute. Let's roll it back just a few frames real quick. As we see coming in, Blumby grabs. You're going to see get the slam over. We'll roll it forward. And the team instantly collapsed. But a familiar face, Bakery, once again, comes in with a nice D-shield, keeping him alive. And now the Dwarf toss in. In comes the Devouring Maw. It almost acts as a little bit of a zoning tool, because we see Hasuops once again with that Mighty Gust, isolating Alex. Now, pause right there. Let's run it back a few seconds. I want to notate something right here. Mane here on Sylvanas actually comes down. You see in position. It actually draws fire away from Hasuops, which would probably go in towards Alex. He probably feels that they're safe. So we'll run it forward just a little bit. The problem is that's Muradin. He's almost unkillable. And as you can see, Mane getting out of there. Alex very deep, causing all kinds of havoc. And that allows Diablo to focus his fire. But the range from Dignitas allowed them to be able to stay alive. So this was just one of the most amazing fights. Getting slammed once again and somehow staying alive. Alex just staying in. And then the minute that Ancestral missed, that's a lot of stuff of what Gilly was talking about. This is where Dignitas was able to keep the fight alive and draw this out into what was probably the best game of the weekend so far, guys. I mean, that right there just exemplifies everything that we saw all like the last couple games here.
Absolutely amazing display there by mYinsanity for sure. And now welcome back to the panel, Hasuops. First of all, congratulations to probably one of the most amazing series that we've seen in this tournament. And how do you feel right now?
Exhausted.
Can't blame you. Can you try to actually recreate what was going through your minds, what was going on in team communications over the last few, 10 minutes? Because there was one fight after the other. It was insane.
So we were pretty far ahead, like level 20 versus 18. And everyone was very focused, about to win the game. So we made the calls, when we get the Punisher, what do we do? How do we finish the game? But they were fighting like hell. I don't know. So they got the top Punisher, I think, on level 18.
Yeah, and it came back.
And then it was like a super awkward fight where it jumped on us, but we had level 20, so we wanted to fight them, which cost us a lot of time and like 1 or 2 deaths, but we killed a lot of them as well. And afterwards, I don't know, they reached level 20, and from there on it was a new game. Like, it was all about if we lose the Punisher, make sure we don't die, because then they will end the game.
So you guys kind of feigned almost going back door. Was that a thought to where you almost committed, or was that just to pull them off the Punisher? And did you back off because you learned a lesson from Dignitas in game number 1?
Yeah, you were right. We had to pull them off the Punisher, because if they instantly do it and push with it, we will die, because I think Darkmark was dead, or at least we had, I think Anu was dead, or maybe Diablo, maybe 2 even.
I think it was Darkmark.
Yeah. So we had to go for their core, so they at least have to base, and we buy some time. And yeah, obviously we can't core as 3. It's very unrealistic. So you back off, and then you just defend the Punisher. Because we have Gust, if you use it right away, there's a high chance that not even the keep will fall.
Right, Todd, a question for Azu up there.
Yeah, are you guys with taking second here? You're going to take on MVP Black tomorrow in the semifinals. Have you guys screamed against them? How do you feel this is going to go? Like, give me your thoughts about this matchup.
So yeah, we scrimped against them a bit in Stockholm in the first week. And I mean, they are really good. I don't know. They are really good, but we won some games. I actually didn't really expect that. But I mean, we will prepare drafts and then hope for the best. And I think it's possible, actually.
Do you have a message for them if they are watching and listening?
Yeah, we are coming for you.
I love it. And last question, Hazuops. Now, your last series against Tempest, it looked a little bit wonky. So my question here is, did you lose against them on purpose just to crush Dignitas once again to prove that you are the reigning champions in Europe?
Of course. That was the plan all along. No, I don't know. Tempest, they just played very well, I think.
Yeah, it's expected of a Korean team, for sure.
I got something from Kalaris, by the way. I want to show it. So
sure,
1 second.
sure. Show it. I'm excited about this. German efficiency. Right there.
Not bad, right?
Yeah. Any final words to Mr. James himself here?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that. I will hand over to the team. Because I think they didn't see that.
Definitely
I'm
worth
sure
more than
Splendor-
the actual trophy, right?
No.
Splendor will be very pleased with this sign, I'm sure, being Bulgarian.
All right, for now, though, let's actually take a look at what has happened today. And, you know, the bracket is looking good. It's looking different than it used to be. So there we go. We see mYinsanity making it all the way through the bottom half of the bracket, whereas Tempest, you know, they played very solidly, not dropping a single best of 3, and they are rightfully now in the playoffs phase, just as mYinsanity. And as you mentioned, of course, Tempest going to be facing E-Star Gaming later on, and mYinsanity going all the way against the reigning world champion MVP Black. But we will take another look at that closer a little bit later here at this stage. mYinsanity, they are looking very strong. They showed nerves, they showed calmness and coolness, collectiveness, if you will. Any way to stop them right now? Is it only Korean teams that can make it happen?
Right now, if you look at the bracket and in terms of performance, MVP Black and Tempest, it feels like they are poised to make the grand finals and then play each other. And then who knows what will happen. Tempest might be a slight favorite in that matchup.
Yeah.
But at the same time, E-Star Gaming and mYinsanity have shown a lot of good things themselves.
Definitely.
mYinsanity were not doing well against Dignitas in Scream. 4-0 them in the tournaments. Why not? Why can't it happen tomorrow? I'm sure it can, and we will see.
If I was picking a top 4 before this ever started, this is actually the top
exact same
4 you would pick. I mean, this is dominant teams.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I think if anybody looked at this tournament, knew how the group stage was going to go, saw the bracket, generally was these 4 teams in the top 4. And now we see who is the top. The only team that hasn't lost a game yet is Tempest.
Right, you are very correct about this, Gilly. And if you guys are wondering, hey, what's going on in the Heroes Summer Championship tomorrow, we got you covered, because we're now going to take a look at the bracket for tomorrow's live stream. We see MVP Black against mYinsanity, the reigning world champion, not Korean champion anymore, against the reigning European Kings, if Todd actually crowned them here. And on the lower half, we can see Tempest against E-Star Gaming. Team fighting at its finest, because both E-Star Gaming and Team Tempest show such strengths in that regard.
I mean, I don't think we are going to have anything less than fireworks tomorrow, guys. I mean, those 4 teams matching up, just like I said it the other day, I'm ready to go to sleep, wake up, and come back tomorrow because I want to see what happens. I mean, it's just going to be good stuff.
Not even sure if I can find some sleep after, what we've seen today. I'm definitely going to watch the VOD, and so can you, by the way, on the Twitch channel, of course, here for Blizz Heroes. Also on YouTube, you will be able to find the VODs in a very brief period of time. For now, though, let's once again, hint towards the special offer that Blizzard has going on from June the 24th until June the 27th. We have a Heroes free rotation. That means you don't have to pay any gold for all the heroes. You can basically play whatever you want, get your friends in there, get your family in there, whoever you want to play with, and grab those 500 bonus gold whenever you level up a hero to level 5. By the same token, we also want to thank The Score Esports for providing the latest news and the latest scores to everything related to Heroes of the Storm and esports in general. For now, it is time to conclude this stream. Second group shades, that's what you saw today. Group B, of course, was one hell of a ride, and I would like to say thank you to each and everyone who tuned in on behalf of all the crew, all the players, everybody who's in the building, of course. We will see you tomorrow at 12:15 CEST, so 1 hour later than today. And then we will go to the best of 5 series in the playoffs and, of course, in the grand finals themselves. For now, stay tuned, and we will see you back in the Nexus tomorrow.